I'm not into this whole move with the times thing. I reckon we should just decide on a year and stick with it.
Generally in war, the best policy is to take a state intact. To ruin it is inferior to this.
The free mind, unafraid of labor, presses on to attain the good. Trustful people are the pure at heart, as they are moved by the zeal of their own trustworthiness. A concept is a brick. It can be used to build a courthouse of reason, or it can be thrown through the window.
An education is not so much about making a living as making a person.
You can't reach what's in front of you until you let go of what's behind you.
He who wishes to fight must first count the cost. Politics determines who has the power, not who has the truth. Learning without thought is labor lost. Thought without learning is perilous.
Nobody's going to win all the time. On the highway of life, you can't always be in the fast lane. There's a whole category of people who miss out by not allowing themselves to be weird enough. Don't find fault, find a remedy. Anybody can complain.
Sometimes I think my head is so big because it is so full of dreams. People are the most difficult thing in the world to change. It shattered something inside me that hadn't been broken before. Whether we fall by ambition, blood, or lust, like diamonds, we are cut with our own dust.
Because even though the truth can set you free, that doesn't mean it won't be painful.
I cannot trust a man to control others who cannot control himself.
I found out that there weren't too many limitations if I did it my way. There are a dozen views about everything until you know the answer. Then there's never more than one. What is considered impossible is someone else's opinion. What is possible is my decision.
Ignorance is the night of the mind, but a night without moon or star. The cost of being wrong is less than the cost of doing nothing. All men know the utility of useful things, but they do not know the utility of utility. He who controls others may be powerful, but he who has mastered himself is mightier still. Hold faithfulness and sincerity as first principles.
Before I can become an expert on anything, I must first become an expert on me. The true delight is in the finding out, rather than in the knowing.
If you're treated like a puppet, find a new ball of string.
Charity, like the sun, brightens every object on which it shines.
In the end, you should always do the right thing, even if it's hard. A star is not honored for its size, but for its light.
There is a wisdom of the head, and there is a wisdom of the heart. There is no sickness worse for me than words that to be kind must lie.
If the world is against the truth, then I am against the world. But you don't have to give everyone the benefit of the doubt.
In 3 words, I can sum up everything I've learned about life. It goes on. A doctrine of expression rather than one of suppression makes a stronger appeal to man. Be like the flower that gives its fragrance to even the hand that crushes it. It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. Upon my word, I think the truth is the hardest missile one can be pelted.
It takes writing 1 billion bad words before you get to the good ones. Everything should be made as simple as possible, but not simpler.
I scream for everything that has gone wrong. I scream for everything broken in our lives.
Don't tie your success to anything other than what's inside you.
Stop thinking of yourself as a victim. You were a target that is now no longer being hit. We don't make mistakes, just happy little accidents. Our mistrust of the future makes it hard to give up the past. You cannot change the direction of the wind, but you can adjust your sails to reach your destination.
3 rules of work. Out of clutter, find simplicity. From discord, find harmony. In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity.
As long as your ideas of what's possible are limited by what's actual, no other idea has a chance. You don't need a compass when you are yourself a map. I have so much to share with the world. Please be patient, and you will get everything you're currently waiting for.
If everyone wants to be somebody, I want to be somebody else.
Because if you found meaning in your life, you don't want to go back. You want to go forward. To buy a cake, to howl at the moon, to know true happiness, I am happy. There is no moment more precious than the exact moment you are living now. When you fail, you also learn how not to fail.
In fact, the truth cannot be communicated until it is perceived. Doing nothing is better than being busy doing nothing. I don't want life to imitate art. I want life to be art. Life is 10% what you make it, and 90% how you take it.
Life gives us choices. You either grab on with both hands and just go for it, or you sit on the sideline.
Talent hits a target no one else can hit. Genius hits a target no one else can see.
Discussion is impossible with someone who claims not to seek the truth, but already to possess it.
We are willing to believe anything other than the truth.
Civilization is only possible for deeply unpleasant animals. It is only an ape that can be truly civilized.
The goal is to reduce the time of suffering, not eliminate it.
There are 2 ways to be fooled. One is to believe what isn't true. The other is to refuse to believe what is true.
Focus on making yourself better, not on thinking that you are better.
You go out and do the best you can and hope it works. You just try to improve. Believe in yourself and all that you are. Know that there is something inside you that is greater than any obstacle. When you're screwing up and nobody says anything to you anymore, that means they've given up on you. To be the best, you must be able to handle the worst. Our soul wounds took time to show themselves, and they will take time to heal. And healing requires compassion.
Old ways won't open new doors.
Even if there's a small lie in the truth you're telling, it will make the truth questionable.
To go outside what your charge was and to try to solve everything yourself is dangerous.
I was always looking outside myself for strength and confidence, but it comes from within. It is there all the time. Truth persuades by teaching, but does not teach by persuading. Dwell on the beauty of life. Watch the stars and see yourself running with them. Best friends are treasures. Hug them for their caring. Applaud their accomplishments. Laugh with them gratefully.
Don't share your personal life with anyone. Do not let anyone have anything that could harm you. Know what you want. Work to get it. Then value it once you have it.
To achieve peace, it is crucial to eliminate unnecessary bureaucracy that prevents peace processes from advancing. You can live your whole life not realizing that what you're looking for is right in front of you. To lose your path is the way to find that path. Sometimes it takes years for a person to become an overnight success. Never allow others to create your world. because if you do, they will always make it too small. Despite your best efforts, people are going to be hurt when it's time for them to be hurt. Stop longing. You poison today's ease, reaching always for tomorrow. You start by writing to live. You end by writing so as not to die. Man is always prey to his truths. Once he has admitted them, he cannot free himself from them. People are almost always better than their neighbors think they are.
There is no such thing as a great talent without great willpower.
If the moment is everything, then everything is time. Many little people in little places doing little things can change the world.
Time is heavy sometimes. Imagine how heavy eternity must be.
Only by examining our personal biases can we grow as artists. Only by cultivating empathy can we grow as people. Don't ever give up. Even if it's painful, even if it's agonizing, don't try to take the easy way out. If you cannot find an element of humor in something, you're not taking it seriously enough. Food is not merely a means of satiating our hunger, but a source of sustenance that fuels our existence. Sometimes you have to lose all you have to find out who you truly are. Many people pray to be kept out of unexpected problems. Some people pray to be able to confront and overcome them. The life where nothing was ever unexpected or inconvenient or unusual, the life without color, pain, or past. I like shape very much. A novel has to have shape, and life doesn't have any.
A tiny change today brings a dramatically different tomorrow.
When friendship is settled, you must trust. Before friendship is formed, you must pass judgment.
They laugh at me because I'm different. I laugh at them because they're all the same. We have 4 problems: overthinking, trust, share, love.
Only you can take inner freedom away from yourself or give it to yourself. Nobody else can. There is no harm in taking a step forward if you are not standing on the mountain's brink. The mind once enlightened cannot again become dark. Push yourself to be your best. No one else is going to do it. You must learn to let go. Release the stress. You were never in control anyway. Doing what I like to do, the way I like to do it, makes me happy. After all, if you do not resist the apparently inevitable, you will never know how inevitable the inevitable was. If you're going to burn a bridge behind you, make sure you've crossed it first. I can learn to live with guilt. I don't care about being good. Keep your friends close, your enemies even closer. Arrival in the world is really a departure, and that which we call departure is only a return. When the pain of staying is greater than the pain of leaving, you know it's time to make a change.
It is only after the deepest darkness that the greatest joy can come.
Muddy water is best cleared by leaving it alone. Walk at your own pace. Don't run after others because your journey may not be the same.
Your preciousness lies in your essence. It cannot be lost by anything that happens.
I prefer for my world to have the highest certification of being a faithful representation of the exterior world. One always has a better book in one's mind than one can manage to get onto paper. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Suffering is part of our training program for becoming wise. That's a misconception, Lenny. The sky is everywhere. It begins at your feet.
When you change your thoughts, remember to also change your world.
I would rather die an individual than live my life as a clone.
The difficult problems in life always start off being simple. Great affairs always start off being small.
You cannot control the behavior of others, but you can always choose how you respond to it. Before something great happens, everything falls apart.
Every team has its weakness, and every team has its strength.
As architect of your reality, you are empowered to create it as you choose.
A kingdom that has once been destroyed can never come again into being, nor can the dead ever be brought back to life.
Three things cannot hide for long: the moon, the sun, and the truth. The goal shouldn't be to make the perfect decision every time, but to make less bad decisions than everyone else. Until you change how you get things done, you'll never know what works best. The torch of doubt and chaos. This is what the sage steers by. The beauty of the world has two edges, one of laughter, one of anguish, cutting the heart asunder.
Colors blind the eye, sounds deafen the ear, flavors numb the taste, thoughts weaken the mind, desires wither the heart.
Our most significant opportunities will be found in times of greatest difficulty.
Being born is like being kidnapped, and then sold into slavery.
Religious structure often dilutes the spiritual experience. Your life begins to change the day you take responsibility for it. No greater gift there is than a generous heart. The deeds you do may be the only sermon some persons will hear today. Gotta keep my head above water. Gotta make it through. Friendship happens when the distance between the hearts tends to zero. We can never judge the lives of others because each person knows only their own pain and renunciation. Dreams don't work unless you take action. The surest way to make your dreams come true is to live them. Ask not of things to shed their veils. Unveil yourselves, and things will be unveiled. And all the lives we ever lived, and all the lives to be, are full of tree sand, changing leaves. Don't be afraid of criticism. The tallest trees are always confronted by the strongest winds. Even if you don't have all the things you want, be grateful for the things you don't have that you don't want. It takes drive and focus to move from potential to reality.
Maturity is when you stop complaining and making excuses and start making changes.
I've heard that the soul often recognizes truth when it hears it, even if the mind does not. The truth is incontrovertible. Malice may attack it, ignorance may deride it, but in the end, there it is. To live is to change, to acquire the words of a story, and that is the only celebration we mortals really know. The words kept coming back to him. Statement of a mystical truth and a palpable absurdity.
Heaven is like an egg, and the earth is like the yolk of the egg.
Gotta get out of the basement. I've got to see the world. I've got to make a difference. It's hard to throw away history. It was like you were throwing away a part of yourself. You will never follow your own inner voice until you clear up the doubts in your mind. Every passion borders on the chaotic, but the collector's passion borders on the chaos of memories.
I had forgotten how much light there is in the world till you gave it back to me.
What we fear doing most is usually what we most need to do. You have to lift a person up before you can really put them in their place. Of everything you could be and everything you do, the greatest thing of all, Henry, is simply to be you. The secret of life is honesty and fair dealing. If you can fake that, you've got it made. People will not remember what you did for living. They will remember how you touched them with kindness and loving. Sometimes we tolerate unacceptable behavior from others because we don't know we deserve better.
Abundance is not the absence of scarcity. It is the presence of abundant mentality.
I think the highest and lowest points are the important ones. Anything else is just in between. Be happy in the moment. That's enough. Each moment is all we need, not more. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting different results.
People say nothing is impossible, but I do nothing every day. A wise general makes a point of foraging of the enemy.
The worst part of success is trying to find someone who is happy for you.
Vulnerability is the least celebrated emotion in our society.
Work for a cause, not for a clause. Live life to express, not to impress. Success is most often achieved by those who don't know that failure is inevitable. Fear tends to come from ignorance. Once I knew what the problem was, it was just a problem. Nothing to fear. Suspect each moment, for it is a thief, tiptoeing away with more than it brings. Life is a moderately good play with a badly written third act.
A clever person solves a problem. A wise person avoids it. Whatever is going to happen will happen, whether we worry or not.
Learn how to be ambitious. Don't be a person who waits to be married off to someone wealthy. Life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. No one owes you anything. You owe yourself everything. The logical man must either deny all miracles or none. The Western mind makes definitions, it draws lines.
Time is precious, but truth is more precious than time. All men know the use of the useful, but nobody knows the use of the useless. The higher we soar, the smaller we appear to those who cannot fly.
Miracles don't just happen. You have to work to succeed. You have to have an achievable dream.
The men of old breathed clear down to their heels.
Sometimes when things are falling apart, they may actually be falling into place. No one knows your truth but you. If you're secure in yourself, no one and no can touch you. Life isn't as serious as the mind makes it out to be.
The spirit tower has its guardian, but unless it understands who its guardian is, it cannot be guarded.
Skill is only developed by hours and hours of work.
It takes more effort to avoid the truth than it does to face it.
Go after what you want in life. Don't just talk about it. Take a step. Run.
One who has few must prepare against the enemy. One who has many makes the enemy prepare against him. You must accept the truth from whatever source it comes.
The moment you stop trying to become a better person is the moment you start to become worse than what you already are.
Consideration for others is the basis of a good life, a good society. He who knows he is a fool is not the biggest fool. He who knows he is confused is not in the worst confusion.
Light must come from inside. You cannot ask the darkness to leave you. You must turn on the light.
There's no such thing in anyone's life as an unimportant day.
If you think life is magical or life is hard, either way you are right. Your thoughts are the source of reality. All these years of thinking, ending up like this, in front of all this beauty, understanding nothing. War is not just the shower of bullets and bombs from both sides. It is also the shower of blood and bones on both sides. Follow your bliss and the universe will open doors for you, where there were only walls. When no one you know tells the truth, you learn to see under the surface.
When we fail, our pride supports us, and when we succeed, it betrays us.
Courage is living by the free will that one creates for themselves, not the life of monotony determined by another. We spend money that we do not have on things we do not need to impress people who do not care. A lie can run round the world before the truth has got its boots on. Life is not a matter of holding good cards, but of playing a poor hand well. You cannot teach a man anything. You can only help him find it within himself. Heaven wheels above you, displaying to you her eternal glories, and still your eyes are on the ground. The thermometer of success is merely the jealousy of the malcontents. All progress takes place outside of your comfort zone.
Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life.
There's only so much emotional superglue in a person's soul that everything just stays broken. Only a life lived for others is a life worthwhile. We'd met at a carefree time, a moment full of promise. In its place now were the harsh lessons of the real world. Wisdom is having things right in your life and knowing why. Through synergy of intellect, artistry, and grace came into existence the blessing of a dancer.
Follow your heart. Listen to your inner voice. Stop caring about what others think. The superior man understands what is right. The inferior man understands what will sell. The only limits for tomorrow are the doubts we have today.
Live out of your imagination instead of out of your memory. If what he said was the truth, it broke her heart. If what he said was a lie, it was broken anyway. The summit of happiness is reached when a person is ready to be what he is.
Don't leave it all unsaid, somewhere in the wasteland of your head.
Sometimes I can hear my bones straining under the weight of all the lives I'm not living.
Convictions are more dangerous foes of truth than lies.
Fair means everyone gets what they need, and the only way to get what you need is to make it happen yourself.
The key to life is accepting challenges. Once someone stops doing this, he's dead.
The aim of art is to represent not the outward appearance of things, but their inward significance.
Most of what matters in our lives takes place in our absence.
The thing about lying to your parents is, you have to do it to protect them. It's for their own good. Life is never made unbearable by circumstances, but only by lack of meaning and purpose. On the whole, human beings want to be good, but not too good, and not quite all the time.
He will win who, prepared himself, waits to take the enemy unprepared.
The worst memories stick with us, while the nice ones always seem to slip through our fingers. There is beauty everywhere. Even in the dark there is light, and that is the rarest kind of all. There are two ways to live a life: either forget everything, or remember nothing. Don't overshare. Privacy is power. Truth is naturally universal, and shines into many different windows, though many are clouded. There was another life that I might have had, but I am having this one. There is nothing deep down inside us, except what we have put there ourselves. Life equals running, and when we stop running, maybe that's how we'll know life is finally finished.
You often meet your fate on the road you take to avoid it.
All the darkness in the world cannot extinguish the light of a single candle. Life is not like water. Things in life don't necessarily flow over the shortest possible route. If you have not done things worthy of being written about, at least write things worthy of being read. The two most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why.
Overconfidence blows out the risk. Inferiority magnifies it. If I can stop one heart from breaking, I shall not live in vain.
It is error only, and not truth, that shrinks from inquiry. Death comes to us all. We can only choose how to face it when it comes.
I shall allow no man to belittle my soul by making me hate him.
Make more moves and less announcements. The most wasted of days is one without laughter. There is no such thing as magic, supernatural, miracle, only something that's still beyond logic of the observer.
Don't be afraid of failure. This is the way to succeed.
Nothing is ever complete. You just have to get it close enough that it makes you happy. The true hypocrite is the one who ceases to perceive his deception, the one who lies with sincerity. A thing worth having is a thing worth cheating for. The strength of a nation derives from the integrity of the whole.